everyone, welcome back. Onyx Harlow here, and today I'm finally back on Warped Worlds. I know, it's been so long, but I have a whole freaking new PNG tuber. Yeah, it's been that long. Anyways, if you haven't seen the previous 5 episodes of this, watch those. Also, if you are a returning viewer, I do recommend that you watch my previous, or one of my previous videos, to like see where I am. It's the one with the title "I'm Not Okay" or whatever. I forget what I called it, but basically, um, this is like I want to get it. I want to do this, but like I'm at a point in my life where it's really difficult to stay consistent, and I don't really know what the future of Warped Worlds is. All I know is that it's gonna finish someday, and it's gonna have all episodes. I plan I like 21 episodes right now. But one that's not really consistent with the others. You'll see when the time comes. But for now, we're only on episode 6, and hopefully, I can get back into the habit of being able to do these. Because when I first wanted to record this, my freaking internet was not good, so I would have to go off my hotspot, which would be impossible to record with. And then school started back up, so I was just stuck doing stuff for last week, so I couldn't upload. And then this past week, it's just been a whole like bunch of stuff, and my microphone stopped working. I had to freaking reinstall Elgato twice. So hopefully we're working now, and I don't have to deal with something like that ever again. Because obviously it screwed with this timeline. I'm probably gonna forget something important that happened in the last episode. Basically, all you need to know is that I'm probably going to have to lay back on these a little so that I can actually remember what I'm doing in the episode. Because last episode, I went off. Like, I did so much that was not planned. And I didn't even, like, rewatch the episode to see what I did. Because I didn't put any of that in my notes. Because this episode had the same amount of events as episode 5 did before I just started doing stuff in episode 5. Like, I think I added at least 5 new events that weren't in my plan for that episode. And now I just forget what I did for that episode. So now I'm kind of just overwhelmed. So hopefully I don't do that again. And looking at my plan for this episode, hopefully I don't get overwhelmed with this either. So yeah, let me jump right into this. That's enough yapping. I think the person watching this is here for Warped Worlds, not for me ranting. So yeah, let me resume. And yeah, the last episode, it ended off with conflict in Iberia. It also ended off with a massive war here going on in Russia. A lot happened, and it's kind of just a whole overload of stuff. Wars everywhere. A lot's going on. And yeah, it's a lot to deal with. So let's jump right on into this video. All right, we're going to be picking up over here in Russia. As in the last episode, we saw Russia getting attacked by the Trapezoid Alliance. Russia will go ahead and see some success after this invasion started, however, seeing a lot of success over in the western region. If I can get my freaking tolerance right. There we go. And we're going to see Russia pushing into this region pretty easily. And that's going to cause the Volgan country to get mad, to take it out on the Donbass country for no reason at all. I mean, there is a reason, and it's to get behind Russian lines and immediately do this. And it will actually work a lot better than you probably think it would, as eventually they're going to end up with a lot more land than they had before. Not to mention the fact that the Russians have not been able to slow down the invasion through Tatarstan. So, yeah, Russia's kind of in a little bit of a corner here. Anyways, let's head over to Iberia now, because we should probably talk about this, because it's probably going to be a quicker event. And it's also probably a little more important for right now. Because, yeah, these guys, even though they're attacking a very weakened Spain, Spain isn't an entire pushover. Let's be real. And Spain will go ahead and push back against Andalusia, which is the most powerful of the attackers, and they will even go ahead and launch their own invasion into that country, seeing a lot of success pushing in. However, in their eastern territory is where they see their struggles, as the Valencian and Catalan forces over here will go ahead and push back the Spanish forces tremendously. However, the Basque region will be completely halted by the Spanish. Moving down to Portugal, we're going to go ahead and see the Portuguese seeing a lot of success because the Spanish saw success. Basically, one succeeds, the other does as well. Yeah, that's kind of just the situation. Also, I forget if I added Galicia into this war, but they're on the side of Spain and Portugal. Just so you know, if they are in this war, well, they are now. I don't know if I clarified that in the last episode. I might have, but yeah, they're on this guy's side. Anyways, back over to these eastern guys, we see Spain freeing up some forces to go ahead and fight them. However, it's not really going to do too much for them. It'll buy them some breathing space, but right now they're still pretty focused on Andalusia, in which they will see a massive strategic gain against Andalusia, pushing down into this region here. And while that's happening, the Portuguese will go ahead and kick the Andalusians out of their territory, which hence will allow the Spanish to do the same. At this point, Spanish forces are kind of just pushing down as much as possible and will reach the coastline over here, and then over here in the east as well, reaching the southern Valencian region, and also beginning to invade into that country if I can get the right color. You can barely see it, but yeah, they have occupied about half of Valencia, and at this point, Valencia will go ahead and retreat out of most of Spain, except for this little part here, which they're actually going to cede occupation over to Catalonia. From here, we're going to see Andalusia going ahead and surrendering because they have, like, no survival. Like, they can't survive. I don't know how I'm trying to word this, but they have no way of surviving. Let's be real. Not long after that, we're going to see Valencia doing much of the same because they don't want to risk losing their sovereignty. At this point, it's like the entirety of this war was like purposeless, as Catalan forces will be pushed back to their border, and so will Basque forces, and eventually these two will go ahead and reach a peace deal with the Spanish. So let's go ahead and look at what the Iberian Wars end with and what new borders we'll be looking at. And alright, this is what the peace treaty looks like, and as you can see, Spain has taken land from literally every single one of their ops, and Portugal also gained a little bit of land here too, from Andalusia. And yeah, that's basically all I have to go over with this. Spain and Portugal won, and now we can head over to, hang on, I can't read. Okay, we're heading over to West Africa. I'll have to remember to cut that. But yeah, we're heading down to the Gold Coast country because they are mad because Mali is trying to one-up them. They invaded the remnants of Niger in the last episode, and now they want to do something to prove their strength. And so they're going to go over to their western neighbor, Ivory Coast, and basically say, yo, join us or else. And basically, since I've already started coloring in, they're going to say no. And that's not going to end well for them. Their capital is going to fall very quickly, and eventually we're going to see this whole country capitulating, eventually being forcefully annexed into the Gold Coast Union entirely. No peace treaty, like, at all. They don't care. They're kind of just saying, oh, you guys are a part of our country now, yay! And yeah, they've won up the Mali, I guess, because, I mean, they wiped out a bigger country, so, I mean, who knows? Anyways, we're heading over across the Atlantic now to North America, more specifically to our alliances layer, because we're heading on over to New York right over here, because they will go ahead and officially join up with the American Alliance, aka the Square Team, as they become its fourth member. Yeah, fourth member. So yeah, this alliance will gain yet another member, and it seems at this point that North America is once again falling under the influence of the United States, even though the US is pretty crippled right now. But now we head right down back to Africa, where we're going to see an alliance forming, particularly against the expansionist Zimbabwe and the expansionist South Africa. And these are all the members of the newly formed South African Defense Force, aka the Star Alliance. That's what I'm going to be calling it because I'm not going to remember what I just called it a second ago. I've already forgotten. But yeah, we're just going to refer to them as the Star Alliance from here on out. And yeah, let's immediately move up north to yet another alliance. This time, we're not going to see an alliance expand. Instead, we're going to see a member of the alliance expand, because we're going to see Poland launching a small incursion into the country of Kaliningrad, who is somehow still here. You'd expect them to be gone the first episode, but nope, they've survived this long, and now they're gonna get annexed by Poland. Everyone expected this to happen earlier, probably, but now they will finally lose their sovereignty to the much mightier Poland. This is a good day for Poland, not a good day for Kaliningrad. Anyways, let's head on right over to Afghanistan, who hasn't really done much since, the first episode, but now they're going to be doing something again, and it involves Turkmenistan. I lost my train of thought because I got interrupted, but basically, we're going to see Turkmenistan being bullied by the Afghanistanis once again, as the full country now will go ahead and get annexed by the Afghanistanis. They're going to not have their capital anymore, obviously. And then we see the border falling between these two as Afghanistan kind of just moves their forces in and says, this is ours now. And yeah, that's kind of just what happens. Anyways, we now head over to these two Central Asian countries over here because, yeah, they're gonna kind of have their war interrupted by a certain northern neighbor of theirs, as we see Kazakh forces moving south into Tashkent and Bishkek and seizing both capitals, and basically calling for a ceasing of all the fighting. Soon after, this is exactly what happens, as forces from both countries retreat back to their own border, but not long after that, we're going to see something pretty strange happening, and that's the border between both of these countries falling as these two countries' governments merge into one, influenced by Kazakhstan up north. From here, we're going to see the capital of this country being moved over to the Uzbek city right here, and we see the other capital going ahead and being erased. And from here, we head over to our alliances map. We're going to see something even fishier happen, as we're going to go ahead and see this country joining up with the Trapezoid Alliance, which is even sketchier. So, what on earth just happened there? Who knows? We're going to find that out some other time. But all you need to know now is two countries who are just fighting at war are united under one and are in a completely foreign alliance. Yeah, that sounds pretty weird. Maybe keep an eye on this guy. And this guy. This guy is more important. Anyways, we're going to go ahead and head on over to China, who is going to go ahead and do something that hasn't been seen on this map quite yet, and that is an economic alliance. And hence, a new economic alliance is created in East and Southeast Asia, as Central Southern China will add Japan, the Philippines, and Southern Vietnam into an economic alliance in which all benefit from each other and are basically aimed at stopping the remaining small communist countries in their region and also the expansionist ones. By economic means, because of course they also have a military alliance for that same purpose, but now it's more economic. Anyways, we finally will return over to Russia, as Russia is let's just say they don't have a chance anymore, because the entire Trapezoid Alliance's forces are now pushing in through the borders of the Trapezoid countries on the front lines, and they are now seeing much greater success pushing into Russia. Eventually, they will reach the gates of Moscow. The fight is brutal, and it lasts a long time, but eventually we see the Trapezoid Alliance successfully taking over the city and capitulating the rest of Russia. Now, we can go ahead and look at a peace treaty for this conflict. Now looking at the map, we can see that Russia is gone, but they're not really. I mean, we have a new country here. It's going to call itself Russia, but really it's the Volgan country down here who has gone ahead and raised a Soviet flag. That's not concerning, is it now? Yay. Anyways, I know this video is probably much shorter than the last one was. My apologies for that. But I do need a way to get back into the series. So this one's a little shorter, even though it's probably a little more important than the last episode. Of course, like how these events end, of course. But yeah, that's going to do it once again for this video. If you haven't seen the previous video I uploaded on this channel, I have two different new channels. One is a Minecraft channel, and one is a Plus channel that I have basically all my IRL content on. Basically a whole bunch of rants I'll be doing. I haven't uploaded to either of them yet as I'm recording this, but I do plan to record, hopefully tomorrow, some of those Minecraft videos, and maybe a rant video, who knows. And yeah, hopefully I'll see you over there. But as for this video, it is coming to a close. If you enjoyed it, please like and subscribe, and I'll see you all in the next one.